I could murder my wife and be out in 5 years.
I could agree with you, but then we would both be wrong.
Yeah.
The driver seems to have an unusual fascination with their lap.
Drive like that, you mean? These sort of people.
I wondered where that was going there.
It gets to that rev limiter quick. We're doing some miles an hour.
I'm late for work and my fuel light has just come on, so I'm going to be even later for work.
As I always start these videos, actually, yeah, why do I always start these videos? This is episode...
Because you're the one who's actually done the proper due diligence and legwork and made some notes with regards to what we're going to talk about. I'll just fly by the seat of my pants, Paul.
I think that makes a good balance then, that goes for most relationships, doesn't it? But yeah, thankfully we're not in a relationship, but that'd be a whole different video. This must be episode number 13. Again.
If you say so.
We're banging them out, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think this leads neatly to the one that we filmed recently for Smart Motorways, because this one is titled Driving Riding Standards in the UK. What's your most hated? I say that because basically driving standards or riding standards, maybe it's different in the motorbikist world. We'll get to that in a minute. But certainly driving standards in the car world, let's be honest.
Oh, they've dropped massively.
They've dropped a little.
Yeah.
And I start on my little notes here saying that standards have fallen. But one of my questions is, do you reckon it's got worse since lockdown?
Why would you say that? It's because you think most people have not been out in their cars.
Exactly. Well, we all kind of...
A couple of years of like not using your car.
As much. And then ultimately, let's be honest, lockdown did change the mindset of many of us, because we kind of realised maybe that things aren't always guaranteed forever or whatever. I don't know. It just seems that, in my opinion, some people seem to have forgotten or just can't be bothered anymore driving properly. And I just wondered whether it's got even worse since lockdown, or whether it's just generically getting worse every year, full stop.
Yeah.
Go on, Mr. Flying at seat of the pants man. What's your thoughts?
I think it ties in the government investment in the emergency services, specifically the police.
Oh, go on. Yeah, that's a different take.
You go back to when we were teenagers, so we're talking like early to mid 80s.
Is that when I was invincible?
No, it's when I was invincible.
Right, okay.
It felt like literally you couldn't turn a corner without seeing a bobby walking down the road or one driving past in his car.
Yeah, okay.
Fast forward to today. Well, it's the same when you used to get the motorway cars. How often when you were driving or being driven by your parents as a kid and you go anywhere, would you see a police patrol car?
Didn't we used to call them jam sandwiches because of the orange stripe or whatever down the side?
Well, the point is they were relatively common, weren't they?
Yeah, you get the impression that there was certainly more of them than...
Now, when was the last time you saw a police car or a bobby walking down the road?
It makes me comment when I do see one because it's so flipping rare.
And with regards to motorway and the motorway patrols and all that, how often do you actually see now a police patrol car driving down the motorway or sitting up on the humps like they used to? How often? That is why the driving standards, especially on motorways, has gone through the floor, because it's not being policed. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, people will get
people just take the piss now because they will get away with it.
Human nature is
absolutely.
If you give an inch,
yep,
or whatever, you'll take
absolutely.
That inch, and then you'll
it's
always,
as simple as that. I don't think it's to
line.
Do that people are any worse per se than they were 20 years ago. It's the fact that the majority of people now know they're not going to get caught or spoken to or pulled over or end up in court.
No risk of punishment.
So
whatsoever.
they just, well, there's no, it's like modern day life, isn't it? There's no real consequences now.
No.
I could murder my wife and be out in 5 years.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Your wife might have something to say about that.
Agreed.
Or at least
well, she struggled to say something about it, yeah.
You beat me to it.
But the point is, and this is in all facets of life, I know that we're not a political programme, but just thinking about motoring, there are no consequences anymore. The only consequences you get now, if you do it to the wrong driver, you have a bit of road rage incident and they punch you in the face. Yeah, that's the only real consequences now, is another driver.
Or you have a bit of road rage and then you realise when you pull up at the next set of traffic lights that you don't want to have the confrontation and you kind of regret that you ever did.
Agreed. But my whole point is there's no consequences now from a lawful perspective.
I'm wondering, part of it as well, of course, I suppose, is because at least vehicles in general have become safer and safer.
Yeah, there's no consequence. Yeah,
And you
you
feel
have a crash
more
around a
invincible
car,
now.
unless you're properly rally driver stupid, as you end up barrel rolling your car for like 100 metres down the road into a brick wall or a tree, you're probably going to walk away.
Ignoring the classics that I love, nearly everything on the road now has got anti-lock brakes, which is definitely a lifesaver. Definitely a get out of jail card for many things. There's lots of different systems now. The airbags, the braking performance of the car.
Oh, even without they've all got ABS, but even compared to like our first cars,
the braking performance will be massively different.
Yeah,
so they quote often in the UK, don't they, that the what do you call it, the driving. What was it with the braking distances that we used to be told?
Apparently they're from a car that was released, or it's taken from the 50s.
So it's so out of date.
It's
the amount of
massively
feet
outdated.
that you need for thinking distance, and
But
the
they
thinking
still have
distance you could argue has probably got worse, but the actual physical braking distance is so much less than it used to be. So maybe there's a little bit of feeling invincible in our cars.
Oh no, that will play a massive part as well. So if you think about it, you combine the invincibility aspect with a no real consequences aspect, and that's either A, you're
lack of policing,
and you're in a safety case. Unless you're a complete and utter unlucky lemon, you are going to walk away.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to be doing something absolutely catastrophically dangerous.
Or something catastrophically dangerous happens to you, like you get rear-ended by a lorry or something of that level. You're going to get away with however you drive. But it's different for us, though.
I've got a little cheat list here, and I want people, of course, as always, hit the comment section. What is the most hated thing with driving standards in the UK, assuming that you're watching this and you live in the UK? Maybe you're living in another country.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you think about American freeways.
Yeah, let me know the driving standards in whatever country that you happen to live in. I've got some bullet points.
Unless, of course, it's like Cambodia or India.
Okay.
Then that's like Wild Wild West, isn't it?
It probably still works for them, although, of course, the death...
Yeah, no, of course it would.
The attrition rate, the deaths are a lot higher. Yeah. I'm going to kind of put Aki on test then, because I've got a note here. I've got a note here of a few of the obvious ones. Mm-hmm. As I say, please let me know in the comments any that we missed or what you're most hated. Let's see what Aki thinks of these. And it's a nice, simple list. I've got things like lack of indicating, and I don't just mean BMW drivers.
It works two ways. I get criticised a lot by Mrs. Ack for not indicating.
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. Because of the driver training that we both have,
the Institute of Advanced Motorists for me.
And me because of my employer.
Yes.
The reason why you indicate is to announce your intention to other road users.
Absolutely.
So if there's no other road users, you don't need to indicate.
No. Well, that leads me neatly on. So, yes, I was taught similar as far as the indicating is concerned.
So I get told off because...
Who am I indicating to?
Yeah, who you
if there's nobody there?
Exactly.
And I include pedestrians, because if I was going to turn into a road, for instance, and they're waiting to cross, you should indicate.
Absolutely.
Because, of course, you're indicating your intentions.
You could argue they're another road user, even if they're walking on the pavement.
Exactly. Which leads neatly on then, because on second on my list is traffic lights, bear with me. In particular, roadwork temporary ones.
They're my favourite. Especially when you can see the other end.
Because don't confess that you're going to be one of the people I'm going to moan about, but this is because...
It depends what you're going to say.
I sometimes have to drive into my hometown of Birmingham, and what's become very apparent over the last couple of years is, particularly on the main roads, main dual carriageways, if you come to a set of traffic lights and your lights then change to green, it used to be the case in Birmingham, I can only speak for what I see personally, that you might get one car that's turning right that's continued even though their light is on red. Now...
Oh, everybody barrels past.
For maybe 5 vehicles.
No, I don't do that.
Come through.
No, don't do that, because that's proper taking a piss, and it's just wrong.
It's become the norm.
Yeah, I know. And again, I hate that.
This is lack of enforcement because, okay, can't have a police officer on every corner. Would we want a police officer on every corner? But if I use Birmingham as an absolute example, we could do with some traffic light cameras because there is always 3, 4, 5 vehicles that come through. So in other words, you literally move a little on your green and wait because you
You
literally got to
can't
wait.
go because people are still coming through. No, I agree.
And roadwork lights seem to encourage the worst of many people, because I have had an incident where a light has changed to red. So this is obviously roadworks. I am the next vehicle that's approaching it, and I'm not making an emergency stop. I've got plenty of time to pull up at that red. And I've had a vehicle behind me go past me and carry on through the roadwork. There's so many drivers in the UK that treat roadwork traffic lights as even less important and less mandatory or what have you. And I think it's wrong. How about cutting straight lines across traffic islands? Now,
I don't. You have to
there's no
explain what you
traffic-
actually mean. by
okay,
that.
so a traffic island where there are marked lanes
Right,
and it is wide enough for two vehicles.
right.
You're in lane one. You're intending on going straight. So
Yep.
let's say exit 2.
Exit 2.
Second exit. You got the left
Are we talking about
turn.
roundabouts
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Fine, roundabouts. You didn't mention roundabouts.
Traffic island.
Traffic island is not traffic island.
You're seeing this from a different perspective to me,
yeah,
aren't
traffic
you?
island is a little thing with a little yellow
Right.
bollard in the middle of a road.
We're talking magic,
roundabout.
Magic roundabout.
What do you say roundabout?
Think
then?
of magic roundabout.
Are we talking about the very small ones that are just painted on?
No, we'll pick the bigger one, because
Bigger ones
well,
that
the
have actually
smaller
got-
ones, some people like driving over those
Yeah,
as if they
no
don't
comment.
exist. So,
Bigger ones with something in the middle.
and they cut straight.
How can you possibly go over a big roundabout? You
No, what I
can't-
mean cut straight, they cut across in what would be effectively lane 2
so
of the
rather than
island.
following their lanes. No, I'm quite happy to do that, and I do it all the time, assuming there's nothing or no one else about.
And I deliberately said in traffic when there
Fine.
are
In
people.
that case, then no, I agree. Yeah.
Because I witnessed that, and everyone must witness that all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
Cutting off junctions. So you're sitting at a giveaway sign, you're going to turn right.
Okay.
Or you're heading for a giveaway end of the road, and you're going to turn
So
right.
I'm stopped
and a
at a
car
T-junction
on
and
the
I
road
wanna
that you're
turn
going
right.
to join
Yep.
is turning right and cuts the whole angle of that road off. In other words, they come partly across your side of the road to go down your road.
Hang on. What you mean is, as you come to a T-junction,
Yeah, there's a
and
90
a car
degree turn,
that turns
but
like
they're
that.
cutting that short, aren't they?
Which means they have to kind of go out a bit.
They've
'cause-
driven over the double lines that you're going to wait at.
Fine. Yes. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Sorry. Jeez. Yeah. That is just fucking ignorance.
These are
And do you know
driving
what I
riding
do?
standards in the UK.
When I actually approach a junction now, and I can see a car start to do that, I won't stop or slow down and give them their extra wide,
This is an age thing.
narrow corner.
No, I know.
I will go as far right as I can to the white line and as far close I can to the T junction.
I would never.
So they need to learn to drive properly.
I would never do that. But my nose is big
Yeah.
and it feels like it's getting bigger. Of course we do that because we're at a certain age. I'm
Jesus
at
Christ
the Victor
Almighty.
Melcher age of
And
life.
oh God, it's so.
It's called most hated.
Well, that begs another question with regards to the quality of driving. I mean, outside of the, in a little box, no consequences. If you think about the actual quality of driving with regards to having a regard for your other road users, which again is a separate thing.
Which is
but
nice when it works.
that has gone off the cliff as well.
Yes.
It's the same thing when you're following a vehicle and you're coming up to a junction on the left and you're going to turn left.
Mm-hmm.
How many vehicles do you see that don't need to do this, but they will swing out to the right to turn left?
They've got this invisible trailer on the back of it.
Now, I understand if lorries do it. I understand when big
Oh, yeah,
vans do
no,
it.
but this is
I'm
what-
talking about car drivers. Why? I tell you why. Because you don't know how to drive. You don't know the size of your own vehicle. You don't know the turning circle. You shouldn't be on the.
I knew this would be a good one, and I
Jesus.
do genuinely hope that you
God.
hit the comment section with your most hated ones.
It's
maybe
just
you,
like-
maybe you disagree with something that we've said, in which case still hit the
Well, no,
comment
if they
section.
disagree, they're wrong.
Now, what's the phrase? I could agree with you, but then we would both be wrong.
Yeah.
Shall I give you another example? And I've got one of the reasons why I think this happens. So, vehicles driving at night
Right.
and the lights are off.
Now, I don't understand how that's even possible, but I've had to deal with people in my old job where I've had to pull over, turn your lights on, you dick. How is that even possible?
Right,
With the
so ignoring the daytime running lights that modern vehicles have,
Right.
which puts some glow onto the road in front of you.
yeah.
One of my obvious theories, and again, let me know if you agree with this, folks. In the old day, if you think of the old cars I own, like my Metro
Yeah, the
or
dash
my
would only illuminate when the lights are on.
they'd only illuminate when the headlights
Yes.
are on. Whereas, of course,
Now
now
it's all the time.
as soon as you put the ignition on,
But
they're
not being
on.
funny, you get into your car, regardless of the fact that I've got mine set on lazy boy, so I turn the ignition on, the lights are
Yeah,
on.
automatic lights.
I know when my lights are on purely because the road directly in front of my car is illuminated.
Yes.
So it'd be quite obvious that I haven't got my lights on.
But I think I remember.
So how can you not do? How will they not know they haven't got the lights on?
I think we said in a previous video, to this one, that many people only see a few yards in front of them. They don't notice anything, do they?
How can they not notice the dark patch in front of their bonnet?
Because if you've got a modern vehicle and you've got daytime running lights, they do offer some glow. They don't give you the same lighting as headlights, but they
if
do.
you can't tell the difference between your DRL
They obviously can't.
and proper illuminated headlights on the
can't.
car that you own and drive,
They can't.
maybe you start taking a bus.
I will see a vehicle come the other way. And because I love cars, I'm a car person, I'll know that the only thing illuminated on the front of that particular model of car is the daytime running lights.
Yeah.
And I'll say to Fran, my wife, they haven't got their lights on.
Hmm.
And when they go past, I'll have a cursory glance in my mirror just to prove myself right that the car's in complete darkness at the back.
Jesus.
Part of the problem is because, yes, I think the driving standards, which is what this video is about, has dropped. And part of it is because the dash is lit. Not suggesting that many of these people even bother to look at the dashboard, but the dashboard is lit. Whereas in the old days, you had to put the
Turn your
headlights
lights on to light the
and then the
dashboard, yeah.
dashboard would be lit. Okay. How many times have you ridden on your bike or driven in your car and happened to notice that the vehicle coming the other way or you're passing or whatever it is, that the driver seems to have an unusual fascination with their lap?
Too often.
And is it because they have an unusual fascination with their lap?
No, because they're
Or is
doing
it
something
because
they
they're
shouldn't be doing.
messaging someone on a phone?
Yeah, we've all seen YouTube videos. There was actually quite a famous one a couple of years ago of a lorry driver. I think it was a foreign lorry driver in the UK. Message from inside his cab.
Is this the one that killed people?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's inside his cab and he's doing whatever he's doing on his mobile phone. Literally at the last minute, he realises that everything in front of him stopped and he just goes,
Yeah.
God knows how many people he killed. But the point is, like, how many people on motorbikes do you see pissing about with their mobile phones when they're driving along? None. A, because it's not something you can do. Yes, you can Bluetooth connectivity, you can take calls, hands-free and all that bollocks, which I disagree with. But the point is, the only visual thing they have to concentrate on is what's going on.
Yeah, and let's be honest, and I'm sure there are a few motorbikelists that don't, but in general, your safety is, important, and you've not got so much protection.
You've got
it's
zero
It's
protection.
in your interest to have
Agreed.
much more focus.
Agreed. But this is what I don't understand. You may well be in a box, as I said previously, unless you're a complete or very unlucky person, regardless of what you do, you'll
probably survive.
You'll probably survive and walk away. However, even your small little box will weigh at least a ton, maybe a ton and a half.
Yes.
And if you hit any human being at any speed, almost certainly above 20, 25, 30 miles an hour, arguably you will kill them and or kill many.
Or minimum
why-
life-changing injuries.
So why are you not paying attention anyway? Just because you're safe doesn't mean everyone else is.
Because people are selfish.
Yeah, Jesus.
They don't see anything else. They're just selfish. That's my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Or maybe we're just old and grumpy.
So,
Or maybe a bit of both.
told you I'm a victim altruist. So my argument would be the obvious one. What is so vitally important on that phone that you're willing to risk? Yeah, the consequences are very little as long as
them.
nothing goes wrong,
Yes.
because there isn't enough police, as we've already said. What's so critical that they need to be doing something with that phone?
Well,
If there was an urgent phone call...
my opinion is, who fucking... Sorry, editor. My opinion is, who goddamn cares? But to them, it's their entire world.
They're glued to it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even though they're driving.
Yeah, it's like a couple of years ago in my previous job, at the same sort of time that they announced that use a mobile handheld device whilst driving, you automatically get 6 points and £1,000 fine. I absolutely fell off my chair laughing because I knew goddamn well they won't get, how the hell are they going to police that? Don't get me wrong, there'll be people watching who have almost certainly got caught. Yeah. But I would argue they're one of the lucky ones because 99% of people, and I see most of them on most days, don't get caught.
I happen to...
It's ridiculous.
When I dropped my son off at college, I happened to see, because I refuse to sit in the school run traffic, I will then sit there for a few minutes. And what I witnessed is what you could argue is the worst of the worst. And that is...
School run mums?
Every third... No, just not moms, dads, anything. It doesn't matter. What I witnessed is the worst of the worst because, yes, they're crawling along because obviously the traffic's busy. They're outside the front of a school and college. And every third or fourth vehicle, they're down there. So there could be children crossing the road or whatever. They don't care. To them, what they're doing on that phone is the most important. People that modify the cars and they tint the glass in front of the B pillar. Now, of course, what
in front of the what?
B pillar. You're the bike person,
you mean driver door mirrors rather than passenger door mirrors.
The law in the UK, as I'm sure you know, is minimum 70% light transmission for the windscreen and the front doors.
Right, okay.
And they darken the front doors. Oh, there's no rule for the rears, so you...
right, fine.
And that's why manufacturers...
So basically, drivers and windscreens, 70%.
That's why your car, for instance, the rear doors are dark.
Yeah,
Because there's no law for that one. So people that illegally tint the glass...
You mean, we talk about the same sort of people who have got the steering wheel here?
Go on.
But drive like that, you mean? These sort of people.
I wondered where that was going there. It could be.
Yeah.
And if we want to pigeonhole people...
Yeah, boy! Yeah, bruv, swear down. Swear down.
People that have... Now, there's going to be people watching this that have gel plates. That's fine. Doesn't make you a chav just to have gel plates. But gel plates and then they crop the corners of the number plate?
I've seen some of them. That looks
Am I just
proper.
old?
Well, the thing is, they crop them, and if it was done professionally and nicely with the rounded corners maybe, or even rounding them off, rather than obviously getting a frigging hacksaw...
Well, I'm guessing someone's making them
or,
like that.
Or an angle grinder. They just look, quite frankly, cack from a craftsmanship point of view. They don't look cool at all. They look ridiculous.
Maybe it's just an age thing.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we've got... Last one on my list, because I want some motorbike stuff from you.
Yeah.
Vehicles that are pushing you almost down the road. So, in other words, you can't really recognise the name of the make of the car because it's so close to the rear of your car.
Yeah, you mean
you don't see
the headlights or the bumper or the number plate?
My examples are, because again, maybe because I'm at a funny age, there's things I do now to mitigate that, because I've always said to Fran...
slow down.
Well... I've always said to Fran, I can control the situation better if said vehicle is in front.
No, absolutely.
I can't control it, actually. I know I can control their speed, but not in a good way if I'm in front of them. So if that happens for a persistent amount of distance, half a mile, or whatever...
Yeah, I pull over.
I will either pull over if it's safe to do so, or if I get to an island... Let's just a roundabout.
Roundabout. Well done, thank you.
I will go around the roundabout
and let them cut across
and then I've got them in front rather than behind. What's your thoughts on people who push you down the road? What do you do?
Well, it's different
know.
From if I'm in my car.
Yeah, forget bikes for a minute. If you're in a physical...
If I'm in my car, I will slow down and make it as awkward as them. I say awkward, but if they're clearly in a hurry and there's no proper way past...
And you're doing the speed limit, by the way.
Yeah. I will deliberately slow down. I won't deliberately slow down to like a crawl, but I will definitely impede their progress, because outside of the fact that they're driving like complete see you next Tuesdays, if you think about driving or riding on the road as a whole, if anyone's ever done any proper advanced roadcraft stuff will know it's all about the ebb and flow.
It is.
And it's about you planning your progress. And you do not need... apart from on the very rare occasion where you're just about to go, ever be that close to the vehicle in front. Ever.
Well, you're restricting your visibility anyway. Absolutely. So for them to do that means, A, they don't know how to drive. Yeah.
They've got no roadcraft. They've got no sense. Well, they quite frankly, they've got nothing other than an extraordinarily small penis.
Yeah. Which, if it's a woman, it's you could argue it is extremely small. But yes.
Well,
you know,
it might have been a woman at birth.
Both sexes can drive this way, so they're pushing you down the road.
But I would argue and say that, in my experience, it tends to be the male of the species.
Yeah. Whichever it is, it's an aggressive act.
Yeah,
and they know it's an aggressive act.
So I will just be pedantic and slow down.
Okay.
But if I'm on my motorcycle, it's different. I can just a couple of them, and I'll be gone.
Yeah.
Or because I've take up a lot less space on a motorcycle, depending on, how and where they come up behind me.
It'd be easier to let them past, I suppose.
I will literally just pull over and they can just whiz past.
So, to end this video then, have you got any good examples as a motorbicyclist, as I like to call them?
Yeah, one of my absolute
of
pet
bad
apes.
Driving, sort of near misses, or things you have to plan for because you're not in this safety cage of a car.
Yeah.
That as a car driver, we maybe not quite appreciate as much.
Yeah, it's a car thing as a whole. It's an observational thing as a whole. I truly believe that before you're allowed to drive a car, you should have a certain degree of time on a motorcycle first.
Okay.
Which a lot of people will argue with purely from an observational point of view, because you would not believe, and you will never believe or even understand until you ride a motorcycle, which is how unbelievably unobservant the average car driver is.
I can believe.
You've been out on the back with me, giving an example.
Yeah.
We're filtering. And every now and then there'll be a car that hasn't seen you or has seen you, and they'll deliberately impede your progress. Or conversely, which is arguably...
Because they don't like you passing.
No, they don't like you passing, which is fine.
Which is pathetic.
Fine. Yeah, fine, whatever. But the one for me that's more concerning and more worrying, because this shows that they are not observant at all, is when you actually come up alongside them and they poof do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you think, well, if you'd have actually looked in your mirrors, you'd have seen me 3 minutes ago filtering at the bottom of the road.
What was the old 70s or whatever mirror signal manoeuvre?
Yeah,
what they used to say.
Yeah. So to me, when a car driver does that, if I see cars up ahead and they kind of move over, and the ones that I like and give the best, most heartfelt gesticulation to are the ones that I can see 4, 5, 6 cars down the road when I'm filtering, and they've seen me because they move over. And you can tell the difference between a car driver changing direction because they're not paying attention, they can't drive straight, as opposed to someone who's moving over deliberately because they've seen you coming.
They've observed that you're coming.
Exactly. So that when you come up to a car and the car just does that, like a panic move, you think, well, you're paying attention, aren't you, mate? Yeah.
But your sort of self-preservation, you really have got to be on it.
You have to. I mean, even going past junctions, the junction might be clear, but there's a car waiting to come across my path, either pulling out from the left or pulling across me from the right. I always slow right down to the point where I've seen car drivers.
Then, haven't you?
Yeah, because if they decide to go, I've got half a chance of stopping or avoiding what's going to go on.
I was always taught that and this applies, of course, for anyone on the road, whether you're on a bike or driving a car or whatever. That if you're driving along as a vehicle at a junction, and therefore ultimately your interest is that vehicle going to pull out? Have they seen you or not? Have they looked left, not right, or whatever? I was always taught that don't look at the vehicle.
Look at the wheels.
Look at the wheels.
Yeah.
Because that's the quickest and easiest way you're going to spot.
A, if it's moving, and B, what direction it's going to go.
So that works for me.
Yeah, that works perfectly well.
All right. As a car driver, one last thing if we want to round up the video. As a motorbicyclist, if you're in a situation, dual carriageway, whatever, or it could be motorway, where the traffic's slow moving and there's space in the middle, do you go down the middle?
Yes.
What's the law regarding going down the middle?
It depends on the speed.
Right, okay, go on.
But there's nothing in law about speed when it comes to filtering.
Would it be fair to say that some car drivers get the hump thinking that you're cheating the system?
Yes.
Because you're able to get in front?
Absolutely.
And maybe make it a little bit more awkward for you to get past?
Yes.
On occasion?
I would say, to be fair to car drivers, we're not talking about every single car driver's got the arse. Because in fairness, I would say as time goes on, more and more car drivers are becoming more observant, not generally, but aware of motorcycles as a whole.
That's a good thing. That can
I
never
would
be a
say,
bad thing.
Compared to, say, 30 odd years ago when I started driving, the amount of cars now that will see me and give me some space is a lot more now than it was.
That's heartwarming.
It is. I wouldn't say it's because car drivers are better. I would arguably say these are the car drivers who also ride bikes.
You see, that could be for at least a percentage. Of them.
Exactly. It's as simple as that.
But you are allowed to do that then, because
you talk about filtering.
Yeah, because I think in many car drivers' heads,
it's illegal.
That's what they're thinking.
In America, apparently, it's illegal in certain states.
But
I'd hate to live in that state.
We're talking in the UK.
No, not at all illegal. It's
so
all
their
about
perception,
how you do
just
it.
for the benefit of anyone watching the video, is incorrect.
Correct. It's not illegal to filter.
And whether it's incorrect or not shouldn't justify you trying to block that person on the motorbike.
No.
Because that's just wrong anyway.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not illegal.
No, not at all.
Watch your pet hate, folks. Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and tune in for the next one. See you later. You're never saying bye-bye anymore.
Oh, okay.
These people want a goodbye from Hack.
It's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from me.
me.
See you on the next one.